Welcome back to Touchy Topics Tuesday, where we come into this place and we talking about today returning after incarceration. Now, what we're going to talk about is we're going to be discussing life after incarceration. We got some awesome guests on the show tonight. We're going to go into some things with them. But you already know this is Touchy Topic Tuesday. I'm your host, Curtis Austin, with Trina
Love
and
Tony Wolf.
Yeah, Touchy Topic Tuesdays, where Tuesday ain't just for tacos. And what else?
And we just want y'all to know that Touchy Topic Tuesday is a judge-free zone, and your opinion is what matters the most.
Yeah. So we got we got Bobby on here. We got Charles. We got Corey. We about to go into this thing. We about to have some good discussion tonight. I hope y'all just tuning in and logging in. I hope y'all got y'all thinking caps on. I hope y'all got y'all discussion minds, y'all discussions ready to come forth and give us some calls on the line so we can talk a little bit about life after incarceration, how we can prevent incarceration, how we also to accelerate our growth after incarceration, but also too, how do we help other people who we in a society after incarceration. So we're going to go into this thing, and we're going to let Trina go ahead and get a little bit about the bios about these men, because I want y'all to really know we got some serious heavy hitters on the show tonight. So I want y'all to go ahead and hear what she got to say about these men.
Oh yeah, we got some special guests here tonight, which we thank for coming out. We have Bobby. We have Bobby right there. We have
Bobby Pettis.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Corwin Knight.
It's Corey.
It's Corey.
Corey.
I keep telling her it's Corey.
Okay, Corey.
You know, you didn't call that man Corey over here, man. That's Corey right there. That's man Corey. All right, go ahead.
And then we have Charles King. Again, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you with us today. I'm going to talk about their, read their bios. First, I'm going to start off with Charles King. In order for a man to help others, he must first take advantage of the help he's received. Along the way, he must show himself to be capable of helping himself as well. Charles King is the epitome of this mindset. As the founder of How, H.O.W.L, Charles is dedicated to the advancement of disadvantaged people. From birth, Charles has been an overcomer, born with a birth defect to a father who was limited due to drug addiction. Charles and his mother were left to take on the challenge of this world. The infestation of drugs and the infamous murder capital era made up the backdrop of his childhood in the northwest quadrant of the District of Columbia in the 1980s. By the age of 13, Charles was arrested for the first time. He would go on to spend the next 3 years serving a sentence for that crime in a youth detention facility as well as a group home. Soon after being released, Charles became a victim of a gun violence. Having been shot several times during the incident, he was left paralyzed below the waist. Despite this major setback, with the help of inpatient therapy, Charles learned to walk again. The grip of the street life was not easily escapable. Charles would go back to the streets. This time, he would find himself charged with gun and drug possession. This landed him back in the same youth detention facility where he'd been detained at 13. At 18, Charles returned to the streets with the mindset still anchored in the street life. As an adult, the stakes were higher in the streets, and so were the perceived rewards from that lifestyle. Charles began to sell a large amount of drugs and brought in a large amount of money. The prosperous times would come with the cost. At the age of 21, Charles found his mother murdered in the basement of his grandmother's house. Within 6 months of her death, Charles was indicted, arrested, and tried in federal court. After the second trial, he was sentenced to 211 months of jail time. In 2015, Charles returned home with a reformed mindset. He quickly gained employment. Service jobs with Giant and Premium Beers were the beginning of his new life as a working man. Those jobs satisfied his financial obligations. Those jobs will allow him to help himself. While helping himself, he knew he had an obligation to help others. That obligation weighed heavily on him and compelled him to put a focus on changing the lives of youth across the District of Columbia. He is currently serving a residential counselor and family engagement specialist with youth involved with the Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services. Those titles don't encapsulate who he truly is. To those who have been helped by him, he is an angel. Wow, that is phenomenal, Charles. We are so happy to have you on the show.
Yeah.
That is a very, very deep story. God is great. I'm glad you rose above everything that you went through in your life.
Yes, definitely I want to say something before you move on to your next bio too. So how it also means helping others with life, and definitely it's definitely is a staple in the city. Also with Corey, he has also another foundation which really is a staple in the city as well, the Hope Foundation as well. So you want to read his next?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna try to condense some of these things so we can have some time to get into our discussion. Okay, but definitely touch on the high points. All right.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, is it okay? I'm gonna start with the second. Okay. Mr. Knight's strengths lie in authentic and common sense approach. at translating complex concepts and issues. In addition to several certifications, including recovery, coaching, and parenting, he brings a unique expertise of having the lived experiences of facing major life obstacles, overcoming them, and the ability to translate personal experiences of restoration in a way that is universally identifiable and applicable. His experience is incredibly insightful. He has the ability to paint a living picture that connects to the heart and soul. Because of his authentic role, peers find him relatable and come to believe in an inner wisdom of the listener, allowing them to make the mental leap from their current circumstance to a vision of a better life for themselves. Corey has accomplished being in recovery and clean from substance abuse for 13 years. He has become a certified life coach and has just begun a new business, Community Cafe Express, in the community. The new venture is a catering company that will be used as a training ground for at-risk youth to learn culinary and hospitality skills. He also has District Water Company DC purified water business, which keeps youth in the community safe and working while providing them leadership and other opportunities. His objectives are to decrease the number of youth becoming incarcerated or not completing high school. That is amazing. Thank you, Corey, for being on our show. We are so happy to have you here.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear for him to tell you about that cafe, that DC lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know about that. Y'all about to know about that in a minute now. I'm telling you. Go and give us a little bit about Bobby real quick.
Yes. Last but not least, we have Bobby. Bobby is 39 from Washington, D.C. He moved to Virginia in 1994 due to him getting in trouble. He got locked up in Virginia in 2002 and was sentenced to 26 years, 10 months for conspiracy to distribute crack cocaine. Due to the change of the drug law, he was able to get out like 10 years early. He came home in 2016 and started working for a better tomorrow. He linked up with some entrepreneurs and started making his way, and he's still making his way. We thank you, Bobby, for being on the show.
Thank y'all for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely are grateful to have y'all heavy hitters on the show tonight. We got
Most
the King
definitely.
tonight, and we got Bobby making a way. You hear what I'm saying? So we gonna do this thing like we usually do. We're gonna get right into our conversation. So basically, we talking about life after release. So basically, like, everybody on our panel today have either experienced directly or indirectly incarceration. With that being said, incarceration affects all people. When you have a loved one, you have a family member, you have someone that you care about that's incarcerated, you might not be incarcerated, you're still doing time with them. So incarceration spreads all the way across the board. It affects all type of people, whether directly or indirectly. But we're talking about life after release. So when people come home, how do they adjust? What do they do? What are the roadblocks? How do we prevent those roadblocks from hindering the growth, from hindering the progress of those that are returning back into society? How do we take the stigmatism off where we don't call them convicts or ex-offenders, where they're returning citizens? Because the reality of it is that we never lost our citizenship. Amen. Yeah, I can say it like that. So now, with that being said, let's start. Who ready to kick this off? Who ready to grab the ball and let it run with it? Okay, well, the first question I'm just going to throw out there is, upon coming home, when you first came back into society, whoever want to answer it, what was the first major hurdle that you had to overcome?
For myself, I would think it would be technology, right? Because when I left, there was no smartphones, there was no social media, there was none of that. So, the example, when I got to the halfway house, I seen a guy with an LG phone. I wouldn't never be cool with an LG now, right? I'm like the iPhone king, right? I love iPhones, but just to make a long story short, he walked past me with the phone. I thought that was the best phone in the world. And he told me the jump was like $50. I was like, $50, like, I'm gonna get me one of them jumps, right? I held him in that jump with dear life until everybody started joining me out. Don't take my picture on that jump. That don't look like me. Right? So I think it would be more so the technology. It was the technology piece with me because it took me a long time to like grasp the idea, like, what is Wi-Fi?
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah, you need Wi-Fi. I'm like, what is Wi-Fi? My father was old, and I was staying with my father when I came home.
Right,
So he don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi isn't important to him. So I'm in the house and I'm wondering why my phone ain't working, but I need Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
So, just those type of things was a hurdle for myself.
Yeah.
I want to mention something before we get to the next guess on that question. That was something that the Fresh program wanted to address about technology, and we got a curriculum on that because a lot of the guys that were coming home didn't know how to use phones, the internet, and computers, and I believe that should be something. Like I know Corey doing his thing, and that should be something that should be added to a curriculum for guys or women that's coming home from prison about technology.
All right, for me, it was being that I was away from the city since '94. It was getting back acclimated in D.C. because all my family's from D.C., but I was out VA by myself after my grandmother passed away. So me getting back in the city, like, man, what the heck happened to D.C.? You know what I'm saying? That was my biggest hurdle because technology. I was reading popular science, popular mechanics, all the little technology magazines where I was locked up trying to keep myself up to date. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have a problem with that. That's why I'm always, doing something like creative, dealing with like videos or, editing something. So I was always in that lane right there even before I got locked up. I was taking PlayStations and turning them into stereo systems, you know what I'm saying? Like, people like, what the heck, where the music coming from? Like, it's coming from the PlayStation. They was like amused, like, wow, that's crazy. But that's how I always been, though. So, the technology part wasn't my biggest hurdle, just me getting acclimated back knowing who was who, because all my friends told on me, basically. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, man, then my brother locked up, and my other co-defendant just came home, so I'm like, man, I don't know
What's a co-defendant?
Co-defendant is a person who they put us together on the same charge with. Like, for instance, I had a conspiracy charge. So they rounded up, like, people from this state, other counties in Virginia, here in D.C., and they put us all together on one indictment. But for some reason, they couldn't catch some of the people that they was looking for, so they had to supersede the indictment. So he came in like 2 years later than me. That's why he's just getting out now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to help him get acclimated back in the city too.
Yeah, I can understand because the city has changed drastically. I remember when I was coming down Florida Avenue one day, and because gentrification is taking over so greatly, right there by First Florida and Pop. I'm coming right there, and I remember back in the days they used to hustle right there, and also right there on R Street. And I see a Caucasian persuasion running with the baby in the carriage at like 9:30 at night, and I'm like, what in the world? Like, I mean, it was just unbelievable, right? But definitely, yeah, man, yeah.
One time we couldn't even be out here that time of night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, society has changed a whole lot, right? And it's slowly moving throughout the city. You know what I'm saying? And it's moving gradually, not at a drastic pace, but they throwing stuff up so fast, right? And it's about where it's the desirable areas they're occupying, just like that.
Yeah.
Because I could ride past certain places and I see places that's still on the market, but I could ride past another place and seem like as soon as they put the for sale sign in the ground, the dirt don't even get dry, and they pulling it back out. You feel what I'm saying? So, it's most definitely, I agree with Bobby that, that's most definitely a change in the community, right? But, like, we have to look at ourselves also. I'm the type of person that I'm a realist. I deal reality, right? I'm all for that stand up and go to war if somebody took something from you, right? Or somebody violated you. And I've been knowing Curtis for years. Like, I knew him before I went to prison, and I made that clear before before we went on air. That it's funny that I'm looking across the table because I knew Curtis before prison. I met Bobby in prison. And I've been dealing with Corey since coming home from prison. So these are the 3 stages of my adult life for real that I can attest to. And if you know me, you know I'm authentic. If I tell you something, that's what I stand on. I'm going to go the whole ride with you whether we win or we lose, right? But people aren't taking advantage of the opportunities being presented to them in the city, and other people are coming here and taking them.
And that's true.
So we can't complain if we ain't, if we not going, if the resources are there, right? And we're not going, we're not really taking advantage of them because the resources are really there. Like they're really there. The best weapon in the world is information.
Right. And before we go any further,
so I think I'm gonna touch on 2 of them pieces, right? And so I'm gonna talk about my challenge first. My challenge was just trying to be normal, right? Because I've lived an abnormal lifestyle that turned into normal for me. So when I came home, I had to adjust, not running back to the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like not hanging with people, you know what I'm saying, that I've, just dealt with throughout my life. And I was trying to do something mentally different. And so, on Fridays, was just boring for me. Sitting down in the living room watching Lifetime with my mother, you know what I'm saying, on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like after coming from the grocery store, spending the food stamps. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, damn, you know what I'm saying? But
it's peace of mind.
It was, but peace was bored to us. We didn't know it was peace. We just called it bored. And so, so me looking at that saying, damn, I just had to adjust back to life as becoming normal. Because most of the things that I've done most of my life was abnormal. And so now that I see stuff, everything is abnormal that's going on around us. So even the jump start where we talk about now, you know what I'm saying, we know the dynamics of D.C. is changing. It's drastically changing. But I say for myself, it ain't changing for the worse. Because who want to live in a poverty lifestyle?
Right,
we don't want to live in poverty no more.
Who want to live in 500 murders a year?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everything
was cool.
everything
take us
is
back
changing.
there, right?
And the entrepreneur and me, the businessman and hustler and me, Eva, I'm like, man, when things come to play, I'm hustling. So people going, when you set up shop, you know what I'm saying, there's going to be a diverse population that's going to come and patronize your business. So it's good in the sense, but I feel bad for the people that's like Bobby's saying, is not really taking advantage of the stuff that, because man, I was like, we in jail, we looking around, every time we sitting there, we look like they got 4 colleges in jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Giving them college degrees. We was in there, we ain't have one program.
Right.
And it was hard to get in that one program. So now you got all of these things preparing you, right, to get on to the next level of your life, and it ain't even, people are not even taking advantage of it. They run right back to the street.
And there's a lot of opportunities out here for return to citizens.
No, I agree with that.
Man.
DC is the best.
Right.
DC, I can't speak of nationwide,
Yeah.
Because I haven't lived nowhere but I'm a Washingtonian. You know, I'm not a native. I was born and raised. I'm from DC, right? And it's unheard of some of the things that we got going on. Like, even if you ride down the street, you see a person with a DC government badge on. I love it because, listen, I usually know if it's a crew of 10, you're going to know, too. I hate to say it, they've been in the joint with me.
Right.
And that's an opportunity because now I know that person isn't standing outside, or he might have been a robber at one time, right? I know he ain't robbing nobody.
Right.
Because he's too tired after he get finished from putting the lines in the street. You feel what I'm saying? He going to go home and go to sleep. After he take that shower and sit down and go to a normal life. Because like Corey said, we was raised in an abnormal environment, really grasped the reality of the fact that there was 500 murders in D.C. That might have been another 300 in Prince George's County, right? That's 800 people that was killed. And some of those families was affected on multiple occasions because of those actions, right? But that was normal to us. It's abnormal now, and the outcry is even more now because it's more magnified because we have different outlets for it to come out. Right. If your murder didn't make the news, we might have never knew that you got killed until we bumped into somebody. A person get killed 5 minutes later, it's on social media. Rest in peace, little Ron, or rest in peace, little G, right? And that changed the dynamics. It's more of an outcry with 150 murders as opposed to it was with 500 murders.
Right. And I mean, one of the things that I want to pull out too, that when we talk about the hurdles and the challenges too, is that again, like Charles said, that it's information is power, but also too, education is power. Because Corey also touched on it too, that even behind the wall, it is some pilgrims is going on behind the wall that people are really, and actually somebody just went down in DC to lobby that they don't get rid of it and they expand it, right, for those that are incarcerated. Because the reality of it is, if you don't prepare people before they come home, then you're just preparing for them to fail.
Go back.
You know, exactly, right? Exactly.
And then the stages of being incarcerated, I said, like, as soon as I went to jail, I was preparing myself to leave.
Exactly.
So I wasn't in the mindset of bidding and all of that, and I'm glad where I was, where I was at. Yeah, I didn't have to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really didn't have to, knuckle up and, carry whatever, and protect myself. And it wasn't as hostile at that space where I was at in Farrington, New Jersey. Okay, what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like, mini camp. Set up, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't nobody trying to leave that joint. They had a weight pile there, they had weights there, and most of the fed joints ain't got no weights. Ain't nobody really trying to leave. So, me just being able to adjust and educate myself while I was there, and I said that have given me an opportunity to sit still without distractions and really put my mind to work and prepare myself to propel and go to the next level. So I was already ready before I even left. You know what I'm saying? And so most people, because I work in the jail now, and we work with these individuals day in and day out. And it's sad because, either they beating the table with cards and dominoes and they playing this.
Because everybody got the same plan. You know what everybody playing in prison is?
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, man.
Everybody got one common plan. Not to cut you off, Corey, but everybody got one common plan. I'm going to get out.
Yeah. That's it.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
You can go and get that same answer for everybody in every prison in the United States. I want to go home. But what happens after you get home?
Right.
That's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is not getting home. We know that's going to happen, right? You ain't really got a plan that. You just got to make it to that date.
Yeah.
The plan is what you're going to do once you get out of prison, right? Because when I came home, like a lot of people know, I took a job at John in Virginia. The wages in Virginia is horrible, right? And I'm still trying to figure out how they survive in Northern Virginia off of these wages. They got to be doing something else. They got to be scammers or something. They got to be
the price of living out there is cheaper. You know
not in Northern Virginia. I said Northern Virginia,
Virginia,
right? But the wages for the whole state are the same. So it's not an exclusive wage for Northern Virginia and Southern Virginia. The minimum wage is the minimum wage. I make $7.50 an hour. And I swear I used to go look in the mirror and say to myself, man, I used to have bricks, man. Motherfuckers see me now, like.
So did you ever think about going back and doing something that where you made more money that could possibly get you back?
Well, my thing was this. I stayed grounded because I realized I went from making pennies to dollars. In federal prison, general maintenance pay for all of us who've been in federal prison is $5.25 a month, right? And you get a unicorn job, but dudes be ready to kill you about this job, right? And they might be making $100 a month, right? So that's $25 a week. How can I argue with that, right, when I'm making dollars now?
Right.
It's not a lot of dollars, but when I understand in hindsight, because hindsight is 20/20, as we all know, we all can always look back and say, I shouldn't have did this or I shouldn't have did that. But in the moment, I didn't realize the foundation I was building by taking that. It taught me gratitude, and I was always humble. I'm a hard worker regardless. If I sold you some drugs, believe me, I was going to be on time. I was going to be there 10 minutes before you because I'm looking around to see what's going on before you pull up. So I'm a hard worker, so I kept that same mentality when I went into the work field. But what I didn't realize was the power of social media, because I used to post from work, right? I go in there, I put my headphones, I was on overnight Stockford. So I go in there, they drop you get all your stuff, and you line it up where it need to go. And I'm on my hands and knees with knee pads. That's why I used to go in the bathroom and say to myself, like, I'm on my hands and knees putting, I work the spaghetti aisle. I'm putting pasta sauce and stuff on the bottom shelf. I got to make sure that the other ones ain't outdated. I'm rotating stuff and everything. But as I'm posting, when I did reach out for other work, well, the next job I got reached out to me. A friend of mine reached out to me and said, hey, you want another job? And that job was double what I was making. It was $7.50 an hour out there. This job was $15, a no-brainer, but it was more labor. But I was in shape, so it kept me in some shape because I liked it. The fact that I was out in the street, and I'm seeing different stuff, and I'm really learning the city at the time. So I did that. And when I wound up doing that, I reached out to another brother that I know and told the other brother, hey, look, man, I don't want to do this no more. I want a job. He was willing to tell me to go over here and hire these people and put his name on the line, right? Which was Wally. He sent me over there and told me go over there and hire these people. But social media built that foundation and that character for me because people saw me getting up going to work every day. I wasn't just the dude coming home from jail saying, hook me up.
Let me. The other piece of this, like, is like you gonna grind. Like, it's a lot of people lazy. Like, it's just a lot of people just lazy. They don't want to do nothing. Like, they don't want to grind. They don't want to work hard or nothing. And so, I had that conversation when you can actually see people and you say, you know what? And I like to hurt people's feelings because I ain't here to make you feel uncomfortable. I ain't your friend. And so I say, you know what? You on your way back in here, you ain't even left yet. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. Because you ain't doing nothing to prepare yourself to get out. And then when you get out, you just so lazy that you really don't want to do nothing. And then you thinking everybody going to give you something. Most of the people, I thought you were going to give me a job. Yeah, I thought you were going to give me a job. I thought you like, all right, so if you thinking I'm going to get you a job, what you doing?
What you going to do? Prepare yourself. So one of the things that because I've been to jail a couple of times with Corey too, and I've seen how you talk to the brothers over there over the CTF. But one of the things that I like, one of the slogans that Corey always says too is that I didn't change my hustle. I just changed my product.
That's it.
So when you think about it, so actually we talk about challenges. We know that we all have challenges when we come home because one thing we're being reacclimated to a whole new environment.
That's right.
No matter if you left 5 years ago, no matter you left a year ago, no matter you left 6 months ago, something has changed. So you're coming back into a whole new environment. You're being birthed back into a whole new place. Even with a child being born inside the womb, it's preparation for that child to enter into a new environment, to be able to be exposed to something new. Of course, there's people to guide it and help it to grow when it gets to a new environment, but yet at the same time, it's some things that has to take place inside the womb. So like you say, is that it's important that preparation is made behind the wall. Now, after that preparation is made, we just talked about too, so what you're going to do once you get home. Right. So if you don't start with a game plan before you get home, it sounds like that everybody had a game plan before they got home. And that was, number one, my first game plan is that I'm going to prepare myself for when I do exit. And number two, when I get home, I'm going to take the same work ethic that I had when I was doing wrong to do right, to make the benefit come faster. Come exactly the same way. Right. But like you said, some people are lazy. So basically, laziness is a choice. And what we all have to realize, and anyone listening, is that we have a choice to do something or not to do something. And our choices will determine our results.
Right.
So now, and I want you to pivot into something real quick, and then I want you to come in. I want you to come in too, because I know you had something to say. But I want you to pivot into something. So when we talk about we don't change our hustle, we just change our product. Kind of elaborate. I want all y'all to elaborate on that.
So all right. So just to kind of talk about my journey and my first thing when I got out really was not to use drugs no more, because drugs was always my gateway, and I fell into smoking weed to smoking crack. So right then and there, that was like that's a job all in itself. You know what I'm saying? If you wake up every day with no money and getting high all day, you know what I'm saying?
You a hustler.
I'm hustling. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying is to say, there you go. I'm saying that to say is that I've always had a grind and a grit in me. And so this was I was never in a space where I would just sit still and wait for things to come to me. I was always a grinder. And so when I talk about changing my hustle, even when I'm bottling up lemonade, you know what I'm saying, and I put it on live and I'm cutting and I'm shuffling and I'm cutting and squeezing lemon. You know what I'm saying?
So you clear about what you're saying. I'm come get you the popcorn. They raise your house, you got a bunch of lemons and sugar up in that joke.
You know what I'm saying? I say that because I buy a whole case of lemonade, a whole case of lemons, and I slice them and I cut them and I squeeze them. Now I can do the easy way and go get me a lemonade machine and just let the junk squeeze. But I feel like I like to work and I like to see my product pure. I like a fresh product.
Right.
And so I want to be able to market something and bring it out as a fresh product. So now people know I make fresh lemonade. That's the marketing piece of wanting to purchase the lemonade. But in the course of that, I said, if I can sell drugs, I can sell anything.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I got a water company. You know what I'm saying? I got a catering business. We get ready to get a food truck. You know, we got the nonprofit. I do T-shirts. I cut out all middlemen on everything that I do. I just cut the middleman out, and so now I got the T-shirt and printing machine. So I used to go buy shirts and let people print them and all. I said, you know what? I'm gonna get on YouTube because YouTube is a go.
That's the go.
I'm a teacher. So I go on YouTube and I learn how to, you know, print and vectorize and you know what I'm saying, to do all of these things to the shirts, and then I became an expert in making T-shirts. So again, you can do whatever you want, and you can live however you want. Cause my thing is, my metaphor is create the life you want so you can stop living the one you hate.
Come on now.
So if you hate the life you live in, then create you another one. Cause we are creators by nature. So you just have to put yourself around people that's gonna give you that energy, you know, because I get a lot of energy from Charles. You know, when we together, we be rocking and rolling. You know what I'm saying? We like be feeding off each other's energy. Like we co-facilitate. Like we do a lot when we in the jails, and I love being in spaces where people have grown from. Because I don't want to be the only one standout guy to say, yeah, I did it. Nah, it's hundreds of us that did it. It's 3 of us sitting right here now, or 4 of us sitting right here now, that can share the experience of living through this whole lifestyle and then coming back to life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we came back to life, but we've chose to come back to life because we could have went back to easily doing but what we was doing, because I'll tell you, life was really uncomfortable to come home to 6 dirty T-shirts, right? 12 mismatched pair of socks, 1 pair of jeans. Them Jones stay in the corner by itself. I still had the orange decks on, and my nephew bought me a pair of tennis shoes. Yeah. I'm a plumber by trade, and I'm a licensed plumber. I couldn't find no job as a plumber, and I had an accountability partner that said, "What was you working before you came home?" I was working in the kitchen. So he said, "You need to get you a kitchen job." And I went to KFC. And I got me a job. See, so I had to have people around me that was going to encourage me, because if you hang around a couple of dudes and say, yeah, I'm ready to go get me a job. Man, I ain't working at no money. You know what I'm saying? Man, I ain't working at, so you be like, man, yeah. Now my ego going to be playing with me.
Most definitely.
Saying, man, I ain't working at no money. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm going to change the game, because I'm going to hang around people that are excelling in life and that want to do something. I can't be around broke people no more, because I'm going to be either the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th broke person. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to put myself in the space to, be around broke people no more.
I think that the different product method, right? When I was I read a business book. I always ran a business, but it was an illegal business. And one of the biggest things that I seen in the business book is, everybody can go into business, but what's your exit strategy?
Right. That's right. You got it.
Right?
There you go.
What's your exit strategy? I don't care what we do. We all have an exit strategy. We all even go exit life.
Yeah.
You get life insurance. That's your exit strategy. Hey, I'm going to leave you some money, or
right.
I'm going to leave you this house, right? And people who don't really plan for that, what winds up happening for people who don't plan for exit strategies is they leave nothing. Right? So you walk away from nothing. You understand what I'm saying? You walk away with nothing, whether it's your job. If you ain't got no 401k, you walk away, you don't have nothing. If you leave Earth and you ain't got no insurance, you leave nothing. You leave an apartment, you leave nothing, right? You just leave some clothes that's going to depreciate, that's probably not even going to be no good after you leave, because it's used. It's probably super used. But I say that the change to product, not to get off the topic, right? The change to product is to have that mentality to know that, man, whatever my commodity is, right, where am I going with this? So, like, for myself, I went and started a nonprofit. I started a nonprofit. Why? Because as my bio tells you that, I'm passionate about giving back, and anybody that know me know you, I give you anything I got, right, if I got it. Because I got a mentality, if I got it once, I can get it again. But another reason I started a nonprofit was because what I understand about the nonprofit is that it has no overhead. So I'm not bleeding money. I'm not bleeding. I don't have to pay for lights, right? I don't have to do none of that. I can go out and do my work in the community, and it don't cost me nothing.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's smart.
So
you hear
that?
Yeah.
So that's my business model. What can I put my money into that it doesn't bleed money, but it's an investment? Because what I looked at was I was on probation when I came home. So even if the worst case scenario, I couldn't find a job, you can never tell me I'm not employed because I got a tax ID number.
Right. Right.
That's
You
right.
can never tell me I'm not employed as meeting my obligation for the probation department, because we got businesses that don't do good every day. You understand what I'm saying? I can tell them I had 1,000 meetings and I'm soliciting people and I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm meeting my obligation. I'm working. I'm staying out of trouble. My urine is clean. What can you tell me, right? So it's about understanding whatever your commodity is, whatever you are selling, because sometimes it's not even something tangible. You can sell yourself. People pay us for the information that we got.
That's right.
Tony Woods told me once when we was talking, he said, man, everybody is an expert in what they do, and somebody always willing to listen, hear your expertise.
That's absolutely true.
And that really, that's like something that I stand on, right? Because even with the line of work that I do outside of my nonprofit and all that, what I understand is outside of that, right? Outside of all that is, at the end of the day, I'm working with DYRS. I'm a credible messenger, and I'm getting paid for my life experiences, because I can go into community environments that people with college degrees can't. You paid $100,000 for your degree, but you can't go in there and talk to nobody,
Right.
because they don't want to hear it, because they can't identify with you.
Right.
So by them being able to identify with me, it opens up the door for me to go into places like Lincoln Heights. It opens up the door for me to go into places like around Northeast 21st and so on and so forth. And some of the environments I never hung in, but you recognize yourself when you see yourself.
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? So when I pull up and I'm talking to dudes around there or whatever, or I walk up and they get on damn, Holmes chill. Ain't nobody on nothing. They recognize it. It's authentic damn Holmes chill. You know, even when the police come in your neighborhood, the damn Holmes chill don't even sound the same. Even when they undercover, you be like, man, this dude don't even sound right. He's throwing me off, right? But I'm being paid for that. So right now, what my commodity is myself. I sell myself. You feel what I'm saying? I'm selling myself. I am the product.
And I hope everybody that's listening is picking
I'm
this up.
hustling myself, because I am the product. So even when you think that nobody wants you, somebody wants you. You just got to find out where they at. Because there's an audience for everything. Just like he said, he went on YouTube, right? When he hit that YouTube, it went up as a view.
People get paid off of that.
Somebody's going to pay him because he's had so many views.
Yeah.
But we don't see it. We get on social media and the person had 5,000 people on live and don't realize that that's a marketing tool.
That's
yes, most
You
definitely.
feel what I'm saying? So like it's about that. That's what it comes to with me about the product. Anything is a product to me. If I see it and I feel that I can do something with it, I'm gonna do it. But I'm not gonna waste my time, because the only thing I realize I can never get again and not waste is my time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And see,
I
one
want
thing,
Bobby to chime in real
let Bobby
quick.
come in.
Yeah,
But
All right. So as far as the statement, the hustle didn't change, the product changed. So I learned that when I was out here in the streets selling drugs, like a lot of people wanted the drugs. I didn't really have to do much. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was coming to me. I didn't have to market it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to, put no energy in selling it. So when I got locked up and I started seeing dudes that was actually grinding in prison, whether they were selling peanuts, they were selling sandwiches,
Onions and
they
peppers.
were onions and peppers, whatever they were selling, they was doing their job. You know what I'm saying? And then you had to have a plan. Like I want to deal with him. You know what I'm saying? You selling onions and peppers. He said, but I want to deal with him though because of his character. You see what I'm saying? So I got around dudes that I knew that was like trying to better themselves in prison. Like some of them never coming home. So that's how I met him. I met him because I got into the law and I wanted to know, me and him had the same lawyer. And a brother pulled me to him and said, hey, don't you got, what's your lawyer name? And when he said his name, I was like, I had to ask this man several times, like, yo, what's up with this lawyer? 'Cause I don't know her like that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But he paid money for it, but I'm like, yo, what's up with this lawyer? So I got to talking to him. So he, like I said, he knew my case, you know what I'm saying, better than, a lot of other people knew me that was in my circle. Because my lawyer was telling him about me, you know what I'm saying? So I had to mold my character to not want to come home and get into any criminal activity. You know what I'm saying? I had to separate myself and put myself around people that was doing something positive. You know what I'm saying? Like himself and like himself right there. So I had to learn how to just stay away. You see what I'm saying? Get out my own way, because like we say, in prison you have a lot of programs for reform, but it's us. You have to really, really want to reform yourself, change yourself. Because they can have classes and people being there, like they say, playing games and listening to music, want to rap. But the person who really want it, those are the ones who are going to go get it.
I
Those
just
are the ones who
go
are going to get it.
They going to take that time and
Right,
do
yeah.
it themselves, because like myself, I learned Spanish while I was locked up.
But
And
see,
it's something that I use right now.
You
though.
always been different though. Even when we was young, like you always was like this different dude
Different.
though. Like, nah, you was
it's
like,
something
yeah.
that I use that as a
Different.
marketing tool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because like even though I'm not Spanish certified, I've got phone calls. Hey, we need you right now to go talk to this Spanish family because little Ray Ray over there and him and Hector beefing, right?
Yeah.
So I go over there and I speak to Hector and I tell Hector, look, cool out, but his mother don't speak no English.
Yeah.
Right? I don't charge my agency sometimes for that because I understand that it's a long run, right? If you charge for everything, then the person starts seeing you as money centered. You feel what I'm saying? And then then when opportunities really do come, we don't want to cut them in because not because they don't want to pay you, they feel like you're greedy. You feel what I'm saying? They feel like you're greedy. Like he said, I met him in prison. And like the law library, I lived in the law library. You don't know how many legal questions I answer for free. Because you get dudes in the law library, like, look, shorty, I ain't got time to be talking to you. How much you paying?
Right.
Because like
They
they
working
got
their own
people
case.
that they dealing with, and they working on people's cases, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm the type of person I'm gonna give you the information for free because what I understand is you might pay him $20 and that dude might get out and he might not never holler back at you, but you gave him $20 of stamps. I apologize, stamps was money for people who don't know. I said $20. Like, we all know,
please explain the terminology
Stamps was money. A book of stamps was the equivalent of say $5 until the value started going up. Then the value changes with the market, right? So a dude might give you $20, right? And he might get out. You might get him out of jail. You might not never hear from him again, but he got out. But I gave him some free information. Guess what he gonna say? Man, I remember which helped me. I'm a Harvard. My guy Harvard, my man, he helped me get out. It wasn't like in a business. You gave me your services. I don't owe you anything. Not saying somebody owed me something, but people feel more compassionate and obligated to. And imagine how much more I'm gonna get from a person who probably go home and I got 10 years left as opposed you got them $20. This person might send me $100 every month. So where's the real investment at, right? As I'm investing in people because only people can give me something back.
Speaking of investment though, because I want Bobby to talk about, because we also talking about too changing the hustle. So I want you to talk about that cryptocurrency,
right?
And then I want y'all to talk about y'all nonprofits as well. All right.
Okay. So I'm into cryptocurrency and gold. So basically, what I do is I help people set up free gold savings accounts because right now we're heading into a cashless society. You know what I'm saying? Like everything will be digitized. You know what I'm saying? So Bitcoin came in and people made millions of dollars off Bitcoin. Actually, it's documented that Bitcoin made the most millionaires in the shortest period of time. They made like 20,000 millionaires in 10 years.
I wasn't one of them.
But but basically, it was like 5 years because people didn't even get wind to it to 5 years after it came out. So in 2018, the company I'm with came out with their own cryptocurrency. The first cryptocurrency that's backed by real gold, backed by an asset, and right now it's like at 3 cents. So I got into that. I started learning about it. I said, hold on, man, like. Bitcoin came out, I didn't even know nothing about it until it was like $20,000. So if you took $200 and put on Bitcoin at 1 penny a share, it was $20,000 a share. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people put money on it and forgot about it and woke up one morning and was filthy rich, never had to work again. So in this company right here, we deal with all assets, like my man was just saying. So basically, I have a global business. We're in business in over 141 different countries. Got a business partner in Australia that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So basically what it is that I have an income producing asset, which is my business. So I can get constantly cash flow wherever I go. If I move anywhere, my business is already there. It's going to beat me there. So all we do is just help people and give them information to set up a free gold savings account so they can stop saving all their money in the bank, which is ripping them off, from taxes, inflation, and you save in an asset, which is gold, that's going to appreciate during the times of like, what you call it, in times of
inflation.
Recession. In times of recession, gold outperforms everything, and it's not affected by inflation, and it can't tax gold. So it's like if you want to leave somebody something, you leave something with an asset, like you said, you don't leave them some clothes. Or a lot of people think a house is an asset. It is for the bank. Unless you're making money off of it.
Right.
If I buy a house and I live in it, then it's costing me money.
Right.
But if I'm selling, if I'm renting it out, or if I'm buying a bunch of houses and selling it, then I'm making money off of it.
Right.
So what we do is we just try to tell people, look, learn about assets and liabilities. Get you some assets. You see what I'm saying? This is free. And this is free knowledge. I'm not getting paid for telling people, but the company rewards us for helping people save their money. So this company business model is like none other. I get paid for helping people save. You see what I'm saying? That's big right there. You know what I mean? And that's not even with the cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is the part where you decide to get as many coins as you want to, and you just sit back and just let them grow.
I get two of them joints.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, before
I like something. Go ahead, bro.
before y'all get into y'all nonprofits, I just want to give a shout out to a gentleman named Chris Wilson. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this guy.
Yeah, he's from here, right?
Yeah, he's from here, but he lives up in Baltimore now. I got a chance to meet this amazing gentleman. A lot of guys in prison was seeing how he was coming up, doing the things in the community, and I'm doing my thing. I'm not going to say what I do right now, but they got us together. They wanted him and I to get together, so we had a luncheon. He had a life sentence at the time. He didn't know when he was coming home, but he ended up writing a book called The Master Plan.
I seen that.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's promoting this book all over, and he's doing his thing. And so what I just wanted to put, out there in the audience world, the viewing world, is about how you had a man who was in prison, never knew when he was coming home, but at the time that he didn't know, he was preparing for his exit. And so if anybody go online, I support this guy, man. I like this guy. It's called The Master Plan by Chris Wilson from out Baltimore.
Thank you, appreciate that.
So I'm just to piggyback on that. Most people don't prepare for the opportunity, right? And so we're not even ready for the opportunity when it comes most of the time. Like we all over the place and we doing stuff, and we really not sitting still. I like when he said assets and liabilities, because now I'm more in a smart money sense, you know what I'm saying? And I don't do a lot of frivolous spending and stuff with my money because I understand about liabilities and assets. Most of the people, our culture, most of the people look like us. All they have is liabilities. And they think they living rich, but we call it rich broke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You rich broke, but you know what I'm saying? And so that's a whole nother conversation. But it's important for us to understand about liabilities and assets. You know what I'm saying? Because these credit cards we got, liabilities, the cars we drive, liabilities. Most of the stuff that we have are liabilities. And then as soon as it's time for us to get something that becomes an asset, our credit is so jacked
twisted.
up. You know what I'm saying? That we can't get anything most of the time. So because most of the time everything is a liability. So us going into this era now is like I've been able to educate myself and be around people that educate me on these certain things about these certain aspects and these certain pieces about life, because there's different pieces that we live by in life. Like you can live by the have and the have-nots. You know what I'm saying? The people that work every day, and then the people that hustle every day. And so so I've learned how to work to hustle. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, most of my money has became money for me to invest in myself. So I stopped investing in cars and stopped buying stuff, frivolously spending, trying to do everything, you know what I'm saying, for the gram and, all this stuff. So, and I'll say, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let my money grow and I'm going to invest. One of the investments that I'm in right now is Sprint. You know what I'm saying? Sprint was at $5.85 like 3 or 4 months ago. They at $7.02, $7.20 now. And so I've, put up a couple of dollars in the Sprint thing right now. And I'm telling people now, if because Sprint just merged with T-Mobile. You know what I'm saying? And so and 5G. And so that joint is getting ready to change in probably about 6 or 7 months. They're going to be looking at $70 to $60 a piece. You know what I'm saying? If you remember when Netflix was at $7 and now they all the way, up there. So we got to be able to put our money in spaces, because that's my new bank account. You know what I'm saying? Because the banks, again, you look at the banks the banks loan your money out 7-12 times.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Can I
Liquid.
ask you something?
Yeah, it's called liquid cash.
How do you get this information for these investments?
So again, my network is my net worth. You know what I'm saying? So most of the people that I hang around, they're gonna help me to kind of grow. I'm not, and so I have different relationships. I got people I help and people I grow with, And so I know how to distinguish the two. And so I know it's a limit when you working and helping people, you know what I'm saying? And then it's not a limit for me when people are teaching me and educating me about wealth and the economy and learning how to grow and put myself in the business aspect to grow more. So I'm always trying to stay ahead of the game. You know, I retired from plumbing in 2016, and then I started my nonprofit. But I started my nonprofit 10 years ago before I even retired. You know what I'm saying? So I was still working and I was grinding with the nonprofit until we was able to, you know, merge into an income base for it was enough for me, you know what I'm saying, to make a living. And, you know what I'm saying, to make a living off of. But again, even when you working for yourself, people don't know. People look at you being an entrepreneur and a businessman like it's easy. You a duck in the water, man. We might be looking smooth on top, but for real, we under the bottom. We stroking.
But can I just say something real quick for our people that are tuning in? If you just came in, we're talking about life after incarceration with our guests. So thank you for tuning in.
Success stories. I mean, basic tools to live by, because the reality of it is like what these men is basically saying to you, all of our listeners right now, is preparation. It gives you the ability to expand past your horizon. But also another thing that I heard too, and we used to say this when we was me and one of my homeboys always say this: if you're the smartest person in your circle, then your circle too small. Mm-hmm. So definitely connecting yourself with other individuals that your net worth becomes greater is important. That's because education is important as well. You know, if you don't know something, like I found, this is what I have found, what stunts a lot of people's growth too, right? A lot of people's success is hindered because they never say, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like I got a business mentor, and I mean he's been a millionaire since he was in his 20s, right? So as I'm talking to him, you know, he tells me, well, you know, I'm here for you. Whatever you need, just let me know. Right. And I stopped for probably about 4 days right after we had this conversation, and I sat back with like, well, I know he got information, but I don't really know where to start to ask him for. You know what I'm saying? Really, I know he got something I need, but I don't really know where to start at, like trying to access that. Right. So I called him and I told him, I said, look, I haven't called you in like 4 days because the reality of it is that I don't know where to start at. Right. And he was like, man, look, he said, Curtis, that's the best thing you could have ever said to me. Mm-hmm. He said, because see, what you told me is that you know where your destination is. Mm-hmm. You just don't know how to get from point A to point B. That's right. So now I can't teach you what you already know, right, but I can show you what you don't know. That's right. So now you tell me I don't know how to get from A to Z, then now I can show you the steps to get to A to Z. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's how you determine who was really there, that who you supposed to be helping, right, but who you supposed to be growing with. You know what I'm saying? Right. And people, men, I'm gonna say men. You know, we have to get out our way, especially men that come home like, oh man, I got this, so I got this, so I can do this. You know what I'm saying? We got to get out our own way and be able to say, look, I don't know. You know, I don't know, because I mean, look, man, listen. When I first, just going a little back, and I'm gonna get off the mic, but when I first walked into a daggone Royal Farms or something like that, and I go up to the thing and I say, let me get a six wings and some tater wedges. They look at me and say, sir, you got to order from the keyboard right there. The kiosk. So I'm like, for what? I mean, like that's how they do. Like, so I'm standing at the thing and I'm pressing buttons and don't know what to do. But at the same time, now I'm feeling a little embarrassed. I'm starting to sweat and everything. You know what I'm saying? Girl next to me waiting for me to hurry up, and I'm like, you know, and I'm like, man, what the world? You know, then I finally figured it out, and I was like, shh. I ain't had to ask nobody, but my pride didn't say, look, I don't know how to use it. Right. You know what I'm saying? My pride wouldn't let me say, I don't know how to use it. So, you know, basically, like, man, we don't access education sometimes because education is right in front of us, but because we don't open our mouth and say, I don't know how to use it or how to access it, we don't give the person the opportunity to help us out in the manner. Right.
But why do you think that is? Do you think that's fear, conditioning?
I think it's a whole lot of conditioning, right? Because when you outside in the environment, especially coming from some of these urban environments and doing some of the things that we've earned hands on. was hands-on training. Like nobody took you in the kitchen and said, "Hey, this how you cook this coke up, or this how you cut this dope," because that's somebody's job. Somebody they gonna charge you for that, right? That's knowledge that they gonna charge. Hey, I'm gonna cook this up, but hey, go ahead, wait for me in the living room, right? They didn't got overs on your stuff. They didn't do 25 grams of baking soda in the bag, right? And they then took a 62 and turned it into a 95 and gave you back 62 and walked away and still charge you, right? It's a hustle. Education is a hustle. You feel what I'm saying? That's why you got to pay to go to college. If it wasn't a hustle, then they would just say, you come on to college, we going to give you this information for free so you can be successful. So, like, being as though it's a hustle, I think that it's a condition. I think it's a condition from the way that we was raised, a lot of the environments that we came up in, especially once crack hit the United States, especially in this area. Once it hit, it was just, hey, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this, we can do that, right? And it was real fast. Everything was moving real fast, but nobody never really sat down and showed nobody nothing. So it was all trial and error. You know how many dudes I know went in the kitchen and messed up a lot of stuff? Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Couldn't regroup because they didn't know what they was doing. Wouldn't it just made more sense to say, hey, man, hey, can you show me how to do this? Because you had dudes who would actually sell that skill. Because I'm using that as a commodity, not getting on that topic, but using that as a commodity. Dudes were selling that skill. And you got to pay me $500. I'm only going to show you once. Right? You know, and it's a business, right? And if I'm lying, correct me. Because you got dudes that, man, that's their hustle. Just like if you were selling, for instance, you were selling heroin or something. Person going to tell you, I go to the table for you. I got you. What you want me to put on it? You feel what I'm saying? And they gonna go in there and they gonna have all the tricks in the trade in the world for you. Now, so you can't come in here and want you to get a table habit and put the mask on and then do something up under the table on you, right? So like you gotta be aware that knowledge is power, and no matter what you're doing, dude, take some baby oil and put it with your PCP water.
Yeah, that's right.
You feel what I'm saying? The baby oil gonna flame up just like PCP. Yeah. So it's part of the game. Too. So we've been conditioned to the point where we don't ask a lot of questions, but we want the results.
But I'm gonna switch lanes for about 2 seconds, right? And so one of my and what I teach now, and I try to stay up on this topic as much as possible, is because when she read my bio, it said 13 years, right? And I should have changed it, but it's 14 years. Monday, yeah. It's a whole damn year. Yeah, it's a whole damn year. I ain't gonna let that one go by.
Don't leave the months on.
14. So and I count them 14 years because that's one day at a time. Right, for me, right, that I ain't used no drugs, no alcohol, I ain't been to jail, like I ain't done nothing wrong, I've been clean for everything. Yeah. And so, that's 5,113 days if you want to be exact. The whole number, right? Because I'm a one day at a time person, right? That's how you do it. But I'm glad that I was introduced to the program is because most people don't understand about the disease of addiction, right? And all of us suffer with it.
Yeah,
right. Whether any shape or form of fashion, and so most people's lives are directed by this dis-ease, right? And it ain't the disease; it's the dis-ease, and so all of us suffer with it. So we are chasing things outside of us because we settle with something that's called a dis-ease.
All right, I got no. I ain't saying that now. It's questions are coming in, but this question just came from a young lady. I definitely got to raise this. Now this gonna break. This is like take your coats off, everybody. So this right here about to get heated. So Lakeisha said, "How would you know if a man that was locked up ever messed with another man while being incarcerated?"
The truth be told. Right? Listen. Truth be told, when it comes to that, being from our area, listen, it's and I'm gonna say DC, Maryland, and Virginia with this, right? Because if you go anywhere on the East Coast in the federal system, we are the biggest population of any geographical location in the world. I'm saying the world, right? And remember when I'm saying the world. We know how big the world is. I've read the almanac. They have like 192 countries that was registered with the United Nations. So it's more than that. But the world, right? The way that you would know is because somebody else already know.
That's the
You
truth.
understand what I'm saying?
That's the
You
truth.
just ain't met the person that told you yet. You feel what I'm saying? Like you ain't. And then sometimes you got to be careful with that, right? Because sometimes a dude might be transparent with a female, and then you walk up on her and say, "Hey, man, you know the dude was messing with Joe Blow," and she say, "I already know." You feel what I'm saying? Now you look like what we would say a hater.
All right, so I'm gonna let
This is
everybody know
from the
right now.
Congressional
We have
Corner.
we have a former correctional officer here for y'all. Special with two of them.
This is the Congressional
we got
Corner.
Two of them. The dynamic duo. So they want to speak, tell you a little
Everybody
something.
wins over there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I'm like this.
Have you ever caught somebody in the buck, officer?
You know I did. Don't play with me. You know I did. So that's a question that I already know. You know I caught people. This is my thing dealing with this question because I did. My name is Knuckles, Wilbur Knuckles. I'm the vice president of Mix Station with my brother here. And it's good to see y'all cats, man,
Likewise,
on this
Will.
side. You know, especially my two brothers who I didn't know at first. Took me a whole hour to figure out. Man, I remember sitting there writing that passage. But you know, that's when I first saw them again after all those years.
Yeah.
But after doing 21 years and seeing how, especially in that area, I think the culture of women today is different from the ones when I first started. The ones now don't even care. They don't even care if the guy is bisexual. You know, right. It's like right. So it's like I would say that most of them, especially in the visiting room, they don't care. They really don't, because it's the way society is now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do what you want to do, be what you want to be, and I'm not a fan of that. But hey, enjoy themselves. You know, because it all ends up, and we already know that, especially the ones on the Christian side. You know, you just have to, with the women, for them to know. If they know. They know. Women have an instinct of knowing what the real deal is. They don't need to ask nobody what the problem is or what the issue is. They know. And if they want to ask you to do, might say, yeah, I did it. I was in prison. That's what I did.
Hey, and that's what I mean by,
you know, so it is what it is.
A guy like me to walk up and might, I don't know the female, but I might be in just saying, man, that ain't right. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and then I say, hey, man, you know that such and such was messing with such and such, and now you looking at me crazy. Now when you go home and talk to your girlfriends, you gonna tell her, oh man, that dude Charles, he a cold-blooded hater. You ain't telling what I'm hating about. I'm gonna tell that off, right? I'm just a hater. And then your girlfriend, she with you, right? So she popping that bubble gum on the other end of the phone, and then she get on social media, Charles hating ass. And post a picture of me, right? I didn't went viral for being a hater for trying to tell you some good information, what I thought was good information. So that's, I think that will like answer the young lady's question. I hope that covered her question. You know, I hope that was
the best thing to do is just ask too.
That's it.
Just ask, and hopefully that person will be honest with you.
But you said it though, because you just ain't met the person that know. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, right? So when I was down Lawton and I was over youth center, so it was a dude there who was messing with one, right? And then I say it back then, if I ever see you on the street and you with a girl, I'm gonna let her know that that's what you do, right? So years later though, when my life had changed and I wasn't in the same me no more, you know what I'm saying? I end up running into this guy again. And actually me and Miss Man, we were speaking at an event, and me and Wolf was speaking at an event, and we back by the juice table, and I tell him, I say, man, this dude was down Lawton with me, man. I only told him though, but you know what I'm saying? Right. But the thing was is that
we got another question.
Yeah, we got another question. This question right here is from Tamika, saying, how do you address your past incarceration in a new relationship? Is it a don't tell, don't ask, don't tell?
I'm gonna answer that.
Listen, you gonna notice, man. One thing about it, man, we got some of them traits.
It's
some of them traits, man. It's just there, man. I keep on waking up every morning, 6, 7 in the morning, going jog. Like, what the fuck is your problem? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I mean,
we was just at the club last night. We was drunk. How the hell you get up at 6 in the morning?
What is it to hide though? I'm like, really, like, what is it to hide? Like, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing to hide. I mean, that's just a part of the life.
But-
You know what I'm saying? I could see if that guy was, into that space where he just trying to put that to the back burner and just hide his past away.
But
in
I
his
think-
career, whatever the case may be. But when the way we live,
I think that because
Yeah.
the environment we come from and the places that we live, right, that we got to be objective. Because right now it's kind of like a subjective answer, in my opinion, right? And I only say subjective because everybody in society is not so willing to be acceptive of a returning citizen. So I think that might be her questioning, right? Because everybody is not really in cahoots with that, like. Her mother here. Oh, Corey used to be locked up. Ain't nothing but a motherfucking jailbird anyway. That's it. I don't know why she messing with him. The last dude she messed with came home from jail. He stole her car, scammed her, ran up her credit card. So it's a stigmatism because people came before us and they gonna come after us, right? We set the bar for the brothers that's coming after us.
Right. But then you got, but you think about it like this: most of the people that come home from prison, they are the most gifted persons and people in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, we just happen to make a mistake. But we was already blessed and gifted. You know what I'm saying? We just ain't use our gifts. We use our gifts in the wrong way. Right. So, so for them to have the stigma, I love the stigma. You know what I'm saying? Because you only giving me, you only giving me the antidote, right, to even show you even more of what we can do as that person anyway.
More motivation.
And it's a big shift. You said it earlier. It's also a big shift where your experience makes you an expert in your field.
Right.
So now, for us, with our certifications and things of that nature, we're called to sit on panels, to write diversion programs, to talk, or to big crowds with PhDs in the crowd to hear basically how we deal with individuals who are returning back, because for the simple fact that our experience has made us experts.
That's right.
So, like you said, I can go over Lincoln Heights and I can go speak to somebody that they can't relate to, yet they got the $100,000 fees on their name that they got paid that they can't relate to them.
Right.
But so the reality of it is that for real, your story is really your power. Right. If you hide your story, then you hide your power. Because
That's right.
That in particular, like even right now, we talking, our topic is life after release. You know what I'm saying? If you never seen an image of hope, then how could you have hope?
That's right.
So when I come home and I see all these doors closed in my face, when I hear all these no's, but yet I come across men that has actually not just came out of the prison system, but now go back in the prison system. Each one of us have been back in the prison system to do something behind the wall. When we walk in, it feel good. I'm gonna be honest. It feel good when I go into prison and the door hit behind me. I ain't got no shackles on me, and I got a badge around my neck, and I'm walking through, sit on the elevator, go downstairs or go upstairs, and then after I've been in there and I speak for about an hour and a half, then I can leave right back out. It feel good.
I don't even wear my badge no more.
You know,
His face is his badge. He's going to listen.
I don't even wear no badge.
He's so established.
Right,
He coming that jump like this. He
Yeah.
coming that jump like a mob boss with me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to a club when the VIP my name with me. I'm old, man. Hey, give me my badge. Listen, y'all don't know me like y'all know Corey. Give me my badge. I'm trying to leave, right?
I mean, I look at it like if you look at all the majority of all the prominent men back in the days, like some of them came through prison. Like you can look in the Bible,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? See, some of the most successful prophets came from prison,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like he said, like we some of us are some extraordinary people,
Right.
Because the things we went through, and now we're still sane here today. We're not out here walking around with magazines topped out stomach. You know what I'm saying?
I seen you with the magazines taped to you the other day. You was sweating too. It was 100 degrees.
Like we brought prison, like we brought out prison activities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You still cooking out the microwave.
You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that we do. You might, like he said about getting up in the morning going jog.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
Certain
right.
things that you might, like you want some time to yourself. Like,
Yeah,
why you don't want to do this or that? Look, I just want a little bit of space. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
so it's certain things that we're gonna. It's hard for us to get around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you put a close eye on it, you can see like a little different.
Yeah,
know
and you
what I'm saying?
move, and you move
Yeah, you look
different
different,
because
you know
of what you've been exposed to.
Yeah.
Like that exposure is not something that you can get from nowhere else.
Right.
And I don't want to give it. I don't need nobody to go to prison to get this exposure, right?
Right,
You know,
right.
don't go get the exposure, please. Like,
Yeah.
cause it costs, right?
Yes, it
And
does.
like it costs to go to prison, but the exposure is the exposure that we exposed to. Because even when we come home, we move different.
Yeah, you
we
true.
like we value things that people don't value. People be like, man, you tripping? They be like, man, you be on your other stuff. Man, I be riding bikes down to the monument. I jog to the monument. I'm everywhere,
All
right?
So I'm gonna interrupt you on that one, right?
There's a
Because
question for her too,
we got the questions on that. Because of the question that this was posed there, I want to ask a question to all y'all. How was it adjusting into a relationship with the woman that came into your life? Why everybody laugh about that one?
No. I just laugh because you looked up, right? And the little conversation we was having before the show came on. But, hey, for me personally, I think that I'm very understanding. But my tolerance level would be low for certain stuff.
Oh, give me high five.
That's
That's
him too.
Be like, what?
That's
Talk
him too.
No socks off your feet.
I'm just being real.
So-
The only reason I say my tolerance level would be low, right? Because you can ask me, hey, where you going? Hey, I'm about to go up here to McDonald's, hypothetically speaking, right? All right, you ask me that every day. Every day I tell you I go get breakfast from McDonald's, right? And then you ask me one day next week, where you going at the same time? Like, man, I go to McDonald's every morning. Don't keep asking me, like, you ain't realize I eat McDonald's every morning at 8:48. I got to have my biscuits set up right. You know what I'm saying? My orange juice to the left, my fork to the right. And that's one of the things that in dealing with females or anybody since I've been home, it's been like a big pet peeve, but more so like because females are more the ones who are going to ask you those type of questions. Where you going? How long you gonna be? Who you was with? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dudes ain't ask you that. Dude ask you, like, hold on, Holmes. What type of time you on? You trying to bring me a movie? You trying to break in my house? You feel what I'm saying? You trying to break in my house?
I'm gonna jump on that. And that question. And so for me, it was kind of different for me. Like when I first came home, I really wasn't into being in a relationship. And because my mentor told me I needed to date my daughter for a little while. You get what I'm saying? Like, because it was easy for me to go do some humping. You know what I'm saying? And then, again, that's an addiction that we would start chasing that would take me off the course of my journey of trying to do what I'm really supposed to be doing. And that can distract me. So, so that was important to me. So now, not only that being important, it was just me learning how to love myself first. Because then I can easily get caught up in the looks and the shapes and the looks and all of that stuff. And so, now again, my tolerance level is I'm allergic to BS. Like I really am. Like I really am. And the only reason I am because I've come from a hard life that I don't really have room for BS no more. I'm 50. Yeah. I'm 50 years old, so it's really limited.
And my man told my other partner to his 50th birthday party at Recipe Scuffle. My brother told him, hey, you 50, put your dress shoes on, you on the downside.
Yeah.
You on the downside of life.
But one thing about us though, and one thing about us is that, and I can speak for us. I'm gonna speak for us, right? Is that we love hard. Yeah. Right? We do love hard. That's why we. You know what I'm saying? But in some of that space of loving hard, you got this millennial mindset, right? Is that most women trying to gain. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to be.
I don't feel like females trying to. I just don't. I don't feel like I don't feel like they're trying to game. I think that the reality is a lot of more of them need to be real with themselves. Yeah. Because like the eye test, right, is a bad joint. It's just like looking at a beautiful car with a bad motor. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Right. Like, man, I had that junk, and then they tell you can't test drive the joint, right? Then they tell you it's as is, and you get the joint. You like, man, this some bullshit. Man, I put all this money, but I can't let the joint go because I didn't spend all my money on it. So now I got to try to figure out how I'm gonna fix it. Right. Right. So like I think that the eye test. I think the eye test is the biggest thing because the illusion of beauty, right? Because you got apps now that can make a girl look like she ain't got no stomach, and when you go meet her, man, jump out here, man, she didn't got photoshopped and airbrushed, and so like those apps sell. They sell for a reason. They sell for a reason. You feel what I'm saying? People use them and they selling for a reason. If they charge $1.99, they made $1 million. I'm pretty sure ain't too many dudes that when in Photoshop they sell. No knock on the females, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of females that use those apps.
But then that's still talking about the love piece.
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
you know
yeah. But I'm saying that's the like beauty test with the app.
The love got to be solid though. You got to bump into some solid people. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying, like I bumped into you got to bump into some solid
Yeah, no
people
doubt,
when it comes
We
back.
got a call, y'all. We got a call. We're going to get this call, then we're going to get Bobby, and then we're going to take a break and come right back after this call. Caller.
Hold on.
Caller. Talk to us, caller.
Hey, how you doing?
What's going on? Hey. This sound like somebody we know up in here. Who that?
It's Demetrius.
Hey, okay, what's up, Dimitri? What's going
Turk.
on?
Yeah, I wanted to, man, first give big props to this whole panel because this is a topic that needed to be addressed, and I'm liking the way everybody on the panel is addressing the topic. But my main thing I want to get off my chest now, being though my ex-wife just left, and my relationship with her was, being though I went in at 16 years old, and now I'm 30. Now I'm 43. I was told that I was had arrested development because I still acted like a kid sometimes, and which I do get now, which makes sense because I had to grow up in there. I couldn't laugh and joke and everybody in the wall doing 100 years, and I can't just be on joke time just because I'm a young kid. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that was my whole. I was telling the lady I was just checking. It's been on again, off again, but a main part of it was me because I played too much. Not even played too much. I just ain't take stuff as serious as she did because I'm happy to be out here from making it through 18 years. I do have MS, but I'm happy to be living. I'm happy to be out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't take stuff as serious as she did. But like I said, we on again, off again, but we still pushing.
So let me ask you this: won't you give us if you had to help somebody through that same hurdle you experienced, what would be your advice then?
My advice would be keep doing what makes you happy because that's what I'm doing. I mean, like I said, I have MS, but when I did have a chance to work, I did work. I don't have no kids, so I'm happy. I'm doing what makes me happy. And that's staying out the way, staying out of trouble. Of course, I'm not in the streets, but I'm happy. The way I've got my own place, I'm happy.
That's what's up. We appreciate you calling too.
Appreciate it,
No
brother.
doubt.
No problem. I appreciate y'all for having this conversation.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Much respect, much respect.
All right, homie.
All right. So, Bobby, tell us about you. So, your adjustment to meeting a woman your first time back in the society.
Like, I came in when I got locked up. I was 22 years old. I was, living the street life, so I really didn't have no solid relationship with nobody. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm still single. I don't have any kids. So it's like,
y'all looking?
it's like I be here, I be there, and I be talking to certain girls and serious. But I'm so focused on like, let me see what's going on with the situation. Like as far as like, I got my eye on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like dissecting everything. You know what I'm saying? So the girls I've been dealing with, it's like you said, like tolerance. Like if I'm a straight up type of dude, then I can't have you questioning. You know what I'm saying? Like my truthfulness.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Right.
If I'm a trustworthy type of guy, but every time I tell you something, you gotta go behind me and check behind me, see if I'm lying. I'm like, I haven't lied to you one time since I've been home. There's no need to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But some women, they come at me as like, I didn't heard them say all men are dogs or liars. You know what I'm saying? They all guilty to proving innocent. I'm like, listen.
Guilty to proving innocent.
I'm like,
I don't want to go to that.
Yeah,
Don't want to go to that court.
Nah, you know what I'm saying?
I bet their conviction rate is astronomical.
Conviction rate, man, no one is not guilty. That's
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
guilty to proving innocent.
So,
sheesh.
It's like I'm just trying to be me. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to find myself as far as getting my niche out here.
That's right.
And then I got some women or a woman, you know what I'm saying, that I'm dealing with. They want to like you say, they want to know this, they want to know that. So it's like, why can't we just chill? You know what I'm saying? Like
Thank you.
Let's
Thank
just know
you.
each other. You know what I'm saying?
They just nosy. They want to
Let's
know
know each other. You know what I mean? So a girl just asked me. She asked me.
Oh, I got a woman just hit on you too. She
do
said
I
she
do-
ain't got no kids either.
Do I do? So a girl just asked me, do I do PDA? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know what that was. You know what I mean? Y'all familiar with PDA, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was. I'm like, PDA? I'm like, huh? So I'm like, no, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't do it until I get to that level. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it just because I know you for 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Not saying, you know, that it's something bad about it, but I'm just like, nah, I ain't really with all
He got
that,
standards, ladies. Look, they popping up even more now. Look at him.
That PDA, I'm telling you, listen, in these days and times, a person will hate even more as soon as they know that you're in a happy relationship.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that you're motivating, right? When in all actuality fact, you're putting the bullseye on your back.
Oh, man.
Right? Because some people don't want some people want what you got. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So like, some people, you know, whatever it take. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. So look, we're gonna take a break real quick, and we're gonna come back. When we come back, we're gonna talk about some resources, all right, real quick, and then we're gonna get back into some other funny stuff and talk about some other things. All right, come on, we'll be right back in a minute.
You know we got this. Hold on, Rob. Give me a little bit. Hey, give me that beat. Before we get into that good stuff right there, check it out. You stay on my mind, think about you all the time. Got to get to know you well. If we kiss, then I won't tell. You stay on my mind, think about you all the time.
Each and every Friday night, settle thoughts right here, start May 2nd. Each and every Wednesday night down in Catavan. And also, May 3rd, baby. We taking our party on that Spirit of Washington boat ride, Mike Jones. We gonna do it like that. And each and every Sunday night down the home, starting May the 4th. We bringing them parties back this summer. We got a whole lot of plans for y'all. I hear you coming. I hear you playing. I hear you playing. Oh, y'all wanna make that thing sexy, huh? Keep it coming down, woo. Yeah. Don't hurt that big boat. They told me you was coming in here, but I ain't seen you yet. You might be back there doing something big. Hey, yo, band. Hey, yo, band. Hey, yo, band. Yeah. You ready, mama? They got me sweating already, man. Lord have mercy.
You like that, Shirley? This your song, baby.
Touchy Topic Tuesday. Tonight we are talking about life after incarceration. We have 3 special guests here, Bobby, Corey, and Charles. We thank you for being in our company tonight. Also on the other end, what you all don't see, we have
the correctional corner.
Yes, the correctional corner. Yeah, so these brothers have been educating us with some powerful information, and that's giving us tools in life we all could use, especially to be successful. We're going to go into now with the 3 guests, what they offer with their Corey and Charles has a nonprofit, and Bobby has a business. So, Bobby, you want to lead it off?
Okay, sure. As I said earlier in the show, we offer. I offer a person a free gold savings account where they can start saving the assets. It's very, very easy. Take like 5 minutes to set up. Actually, it's a free offshore account, and once they start setting it up, they can start exchanging their trash, what we call cash, for a real asset, which is gold. And if they want to, they can take it a step further, and then they can get they can start getting cryptocurrency for like 3 cents right now, and it's backed by physical gold, so it's always going to have a value to it. And they have a bank. We have a bank opening up. I think it's end of September. It's the world's first digital currency bank in Miami, and once that bank gets up and running, activated, the person who actually has an account, this will be the first time where the bank fees will benefit the person who has the account, because the bank fees go to them putting more gold behind the coin. And if you own the coin, then that means you be getting money off the bank fees.
Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You want? I was a little stuck there. I was like,
lemon water.
I run a nonprofit called the Hope Foundation Reentry Network that I started while I was incarcerated in Ferguson, New Jersey. I came home in 2007, and I just started doing some volunteer work. In 2008, they let me come back into the Department of Corrections and do some volunteer work and work with at-risk youth. While I was in there, I started to develop, kind of just, do an access and, see the need. And then I started my nonprofit from there. We've been in the Department of Corrections for 11 years now. Wow. So I've been working, diligently. And I like to say, I was like one of the first programs in the Department of Corrections, and I started to advocate for more programs for them. We started to bring more volunteers in. We started to build a base of education for the Department of Corrections, and it expanded. And so I'm able to sit back and kind of look at some of the advocacy and some of the work that I've able to put into it. So now that we run a mentoring and coaching program. I'm connected to a lot of different navigators that we hook up, and then I bring a lot of people inside the jail to not only teach, model, and educate, but to also build that relationship with that person while they're still locked up. Because I don't want to be the only one that they think they have to come to. And so I really bring my network in there so they can build relationships. And it's all about building relationships and being that navigation for people that's coming home, just like us, because we already know the anxiety, the fears, the challenges, and all that stuff that you get ready to go through. So we want to help you put them fires out and be more successful with where you're trying to go at. Then we have other resources and stuff like that that we can connect them to. We are like a broker of resources, so we connect to the whole DC and resources also. I also wear a couple of different hats as well. I am the chairperson for the mayor's office on return to citizens as well. So we kind of have an access with the with the mayor's office, return to citizens office, that we're more connected with the base resources and all that. And we just set up a platform, and we also getting the right for felons to be able to vote while they're incarcerated, and we just kind of put that in motion now, and we getting ready to try to hurry up and get that that legislation passed, because it was like an idea came that I said, we talk about being held, being awarded them states, you know what I'm saying? So when we in the census count, we awarded that state and stuff, and so we didn't know that you were supposed to be able to vote while you're incarcerated, you know what I'm saying? But people didn't know that. And so now we trying to get these packages together. We trying to have a meeting with FBOP, Federal Bureau of Prisons, to sit down and make sure all DC residents have the right to vote for the people in DC, so we can make things happen. So these are some of the things that we got out. I'll give out one of my contact numbers. My girl told me not to give out my number no more. So I'm going to give y'all my 202-423-5430 number. And y'all can call that again. It's 202-423-5432. Y'all know I don't use that phone too much, but I still use it. And our website is www.hopereentry.network at dc.org. www.hopereentry.network.dc.org. So y'all can check us out on the Facebook, on the gram. We all over, so we just trying to make it happen.
And he didn't tell you he took some time out for the Fresh program about 2 years ago and how busy he was. And he was in there telling me, everybody was coming to him. He like, all right, I'll be right back. All right, hold on, I'll be right back. I definitely appreciate Corey for doing that.
Well, for myself, I got my nonprofit. It's called Helping Others with Life. And the website for that would be HOWLDMV.com. And what we actually do is, we go into the community, the prison systems, we go everywhere, wherever. And the reason that I chose the name that I chose is a universal name. I didn't want to be, just hypothetically, I didn't want to be feed the children. If I feed the children and I come to you, ask you for a bicycle, you're going to ask me, what do that got to do with feeding the child? Mm-hmm. So with Helping Others with Life, it's a universal approach. Whatever I do, I can use it for that, right? Mm-hmm. Because no matter where I go and what I get into, I can use that. And it was just a name that just popped in my head, right? I gave it some thought, and I said, that's what it's going to be. And that's just how that formed. But since we formed, right, before we officially put it in documentation, we was already doing the work. We had went over to the Big Chair. We had collected a lot of shoes, gently used shoes, clothes, school supplies, and backpacks. This was like 2016, 15, 16, 16 when I first came home. And it isn't just me. I don't want y'all to think it's just me. I got to give credit to, the people that work with me, right? Because, if I was just to say it was just me, then I feel like that I'm really taking away a lot of credit for a lot of people. I'm the face of this organization because I'm always out and I'm always pushing. And as y'all know, y'all always see me. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of behind the scenes that go with that because we just had a bike drive last year and we gave out 100 bikes to 100 kids. Brand new bikes to the 100 most improved kids in Ward 8-3 elementary schools. We allowed the schools to select these youth based on whatever their criteria was that they felt that these kids needed these bikes. Mm-hmm. When we raised the money for 75 bikes, we had Dwight Howard step in and he bought us 25 bikes. So, we gave out these bikes and that was priceless. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I said, that's why I chose the name that I chose because then I turn around and you might see me at an anti-violence rally. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Or you might see me stepping in a squash of beef, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not saying I'm feeding the children. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why, I made the approach that I made because, my life, as you've read in my bio, I have so many twists and turns to my life that took me down so many paths that I'm able to touch people in a multitude of ways because it's people who actually see me now and be like, wow. Mm-hmm. Right? Wow. You motivate me. I hear that a lot. You motivate me. You inspire me. You feel what I'm saying? Or even when I go into the prisons with Corey and I speak, right? I always get feedback and it's positive after the fact. Mm-hmm. Because I let them know that a lot of the units that I go into, I slept in some of them cells. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So it isn't I'm not telling you hypothetically. I'm telling you I was in cell 22. Hey, is my name still on the roof? Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what my nonprofit is really about. It's about like just trying to do wherever I see a vacuum to do something. Yeah. You know, that's my whole approach. Well, that's our whole approach. I don't want to be singular. I most definitely want to be plural with that, right? Because I got some people behind the scenes that make some phone calls and make it happen for me. That's right. It's not me. Some of those things that you see happen is not my work. I promise you. It's other people making the phone calls and they not posting it on social media saying, yeah, I pulled that string and nothing. They just felt like, listen, this is your call and this is for you. We feel that this is for you. We feel that you know that you can deliver the message. We feel that you can push it. And like I did take the initiative to get everything done as far as paperwork to get my 501c3 nonprofit status. But they feel like I got a team behind me to feel like, listen, if you make it, then I know we gonna make it. If you get $1 million contract, I know that you gonna give us all jobs. You feel what I'm saying? I know that you gonna come out and get us. You ain't gonna go get $1 million and go hire some people from across town. You gonna come back and get us. So, you know, that's what I really do with my nonprofit. You feel what I'm saying? That's so, like, I'm always open for, like, anything. Because, like, right now, even with my work, they value my opinion. And that's big to have an organization such as DYRS to value your opinion, to call you and say, hey, we need you to come in and we want your take on how to put this program together. You know, because this program is going to affect youth. They service all the youth that come through the juvenile justice system in D.C. So, like right now, I'm in the process of trying to do something with them with a life skills class. And the reason that I'm using my nonprofit as that vehicle is because I understand that the youth are different, right? A youth will tell you a pound of oranges. I don't know about a pound of oranges, but they can tell you about a pound of weed. But a pound is a pound. I don't care where you go at. Yeah, a pound is a pound, and that's how we got to teach them. We got to meet them where they at and tell them, listen, when you see that, how many grams is in this ounce on your GED, think about that ounce of weed that you smoked, right? Because that's what they got. That's what they used to dealing with. We got to use the commodities that they understand and that they know. Because if we don't use that, they're going to continue to be lost, and they're going to continue to look at you like you crazy, and you're going to look at them like they crazy. We can't keep on selling them that back in 2000, shorty, we wasn't doing it like that. I'm trying to tell you, y'all tripping. Whoop. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear Lil Uzi Vert. They want their jeans skinny, and they want to have fun. So I meet them where they at, and I use my nonprofit as a vehicle for that because I do go into some of those environments like Woodland. I went over there. I even take my son. I got a 15-year-old. You know, and he wasn't born when I went to jail. When I came home, he was 11. So our relationship has been building since I came home. But I take him into those environments also and have him volunteering, getting his school hours for, nonprofit, doing that community service work.
Yeah, I saw him out there. Go ahead, I'm sorry. I saw him out there when you was handing bikes out, when you was giving bikes out. Yeah, I saw him out there with you. Go ahead, Trina.
So I have a question for you, all of you, and you over there, the correctional corner.
Correctional corner.
I heard you and Corey say you go inside the prisons. What do you all think about the Scared Straight program?
Obsolete. That's my honest to God opinion. I can look on social media and see somebody get their head blew off. What you telling me about being scared straight? You feel what I'm saying? Like we was having a conversation about cell phones in prisons, right? They can look online and see what's going on in the prison from right then. It don't look like what you telling them in the Scared Straight program. You feel what I'm saying? Dude in there, he hooking up, he cooking, he might got a, God forbid, whatever he's smoking in his mouth and whatever.
He might be having sex with a CEO.
Yeah, he might be. So like with that, right? We got to understand that how does that transform into when I'm telling you stay out of here, and they go out and they Google it. And they see him in that joint with $50,000 on the bed that he just made from gambling, and he's running the ticket, and he just bought his wife a house on the street. Scared straight. Nah, that was like the life I want to live. They gonna give me 3 houses of cotton, and they ain't gotta pay no bills, and I can have sex and do everything I want to do, and they gotta worry about getting nothing but a write up for it.
But I also work in the school system as well. And so again, we went over.
We went to school. We go to school.
Do you have a clone?
School.
We all over the place. This man is really busy. Listen, then you gonna catch him coming. He gonna be catching. He gonna be selling the DC lemonade and DC water out. You know what I'm saying too. I'm telling you, like, and then be cooking up the food. Like you haven't been over his spot. He be eating.
You're on my Facebook now. You'll see it.
He be. Oh, I'm gonna let you go, Corey. But he be always in the kitchen. He like, I got this going on right here. Then he put it up, and it be jazzy too. you be like, man, that look good right there.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been chefing for years. Like I've been cooking for years. That has been my my craft and my gift. Even when I was locked up, you know, when I go to jail, I'm always cooking for the officers. So, you know, so that was my last job in the jail. I was working the ODR. I was getting $150 every month. You know, yeah, I was killing them in that game. Yeah. But I was saying that, like, even when we had these conversations with these kids in school, they ain't tripping off of jail. They not really even tripping off of jail. They like, yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like, and then they know all of their little men in there. So, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't so we just try to educate them on, you know, why it's important not to go to jail and not to waste time, and that you can be better and you can do bigger and better things, you know what I'm saying, with your life, other than just make these bad decisions and go to jail. So, you know, again, like it's real important that we're able to touch, you know, all of these areas of our disadvantaged people that are suffering, you know what I'm saying, with this thing called a lifestyle.
Can I interject something real quick? I'll let you go right as soon as I finish. I need to also note that I go inside not just adult prisons, I work inside the juvenile facilities. So it's
we all over.
It's a trend. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm in a juvenile facility, like some of them don't even some of them are not even able to grasp the reality of what they facing. You feel what I'm saying? Because like you got youth right now that with a considered Title 16, meaning that you're 16, you committed a crime that was so serious that they're charging you as an adult, right? And some of them they don't even grasp the reality of what they're really facing. You understand what I'm saying? Like they don't grasp the reality when they go in there and they come back with that 44 years, right? And you don't have more time in prison than in society as a person.
Right.
Well, I just want to say when it comes to youth in prison, what really touched my heart was the Central Park 5, watching that. I mean, Corey Wise, he spent all that, you know, a long period of his sentence in solitary confinement.
Yeah.
And for him, I follow him, he's on my Facebook page, but for him to come out and doing positive things like you brothers are, is truly an inspiration. And you know, it takes a lot of strength to do that. You know, it takes a lot of strength to come out and do what you all are doing as far as the mentoring and helping.
And that's mental strength. Don't make sure that's clear for the society, because we don't want y'all out there doing push-ups, right? Thinking that y'all got the juice, right? It's a lot of mental strength that goes into that.
And it has to be a lot of passion and empathy in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, just everybody wants to help out, but you don't find a whole lot of people like being consistent in what we do.
That's right.
They might do it for one time, or they might call it, you know, they're calling for like two or 3, 4, 5 months, and then they out the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I've been in this thing ever since I've been home. You know what I'm saying? And my pastor always said, he said, you know what? God gave you a gift, boy. And I was like, what? He's like, man, he gave you the jail. You know, because my last time being incarcerated was 26 times. Like, I've been in and out of jail, in and out of jail. He didn't get the opportunity to go in and out of jail.
No, I went in on my first adult case, and I never came back.
And so when the people see me...
I came back 13 years later. I just got on probation. It took me 16 years to finish one case. It took me 16 years. I caught my case May 17, 2003. I got off of probation June 19, 2019.
Congratulations.
So it took me all that time. And the crazy part about that, we just was having this discussion, me, Bobby, and Curtis, right? Before Corey came, we was having this discussion, and we had walked out that the government was still fighting to keep me on probation. Wow. And I own a non-profit. I have a for-profit. I never had a dirty yawn. But I never had a dirty yawn. I never had no infractions. I've reported. I'm a single parent. I purchased the property in the city. I give back to my community in every form of fashion, and they still was like, he should be on probation. Their justification is because if he get in trouble, he'll know that he has to see us. That was the exact words, literally verbatim, right? And I'm saying to myself, like, damn, Like, I've been employed since my first 2 weeks of getting to the halfway house. I've been home for 4 years. I've been employed the whole time. Never been unemployed ever. I've had a job consistently for 4 years. I think the statistics say that I'm a prime example of not returning to the penal system, but they still wanted to keep me on. They even went as far as saying, hey, let's keep him on probation, but he doesn't need to report every month. Like probation, but don't report every month. Yeah, like I sat down and wrote the judge. Like, listen, this is ludicrous, right? Like,
they call that timeout,
man. Listen. but it was crazy because when I saw it on paper, right? Because I had to file a motion. The probation department wouldn't ride with me. They would verbally tell me, "Yeah, you're a prime candidate," but. So cool. I filed a motion, and when I seen the government's response, I'm saying to myself, I don't need to be on supervised release and report every month, but I need to be on supervised release. Like, I thought that the purpose of probation was to help me reintegrate back into society and be successful. I think that I'm a success plan right by my own judgment, and that's a subjective judgment, not an objective one, because I'm dealing with me every day. But my probation officer came to my house last time and said, hey, can you use the bathroom? I said, no. She said, okay, I'm not going to waste the cup, and left. But I need to be on probation.
Right.
So, like, those are some of the things that will frustrate a man coming back into society, right? And those can be things that trigger things.
It's like setting you up.
In so many words, you're setting me up to say, I'm going to get in trouble. This is going to be over his head if he gets in trouble again.
Yeah. Look here, we got actually 9 minutes left before we come out of the show.
No, we can keep going, man. We good.
All right, cool. We're gonna pick up about 2 minutes about 1 minute real quick. We're gonna come right back, and then when we come right back, and then we're gonna get some final thoughts. Then
okay.
We're gonna keep everybody out all night. Look, they enjoying this conversation though.
The corrections corner.
Keep frontin' tonight, or y'all gonna get on in. You know what I'm saying? Up and up in here tonight, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey, true.
Sexy lady.
What?
Give me your number,
Come on.
I'm always rocking with DJ Black Diamond.
Let's go, Trey. Hey, Ron T. Come on, girl. Shiggity Bell. Hey, Rob. We gotta do this one for my man Rob. Let's go, Rob. I wanna hook up with you on Saturday. You up on Saturday. We can go catch a Saturday. Hey, Urban Legend. I'ma come with you on Saturday. You up on Saturday. Maybe you can give me some pussy. Damn, girl, you sexy as you wanna be. That mean walk, the classy as you wanna be. That mean talk, the sassy as you wanna be. See, I'm confronting you, so you ain't gotta front on me. Girl, come with me, keep me company. You a couple drink, I we can fun and freak. She said, okay, she digging pimp.
Yeah, we back in the studio. We back on Touchy Topic Tuesday. We'll be talking about life after incarceration. Well, we have a very special guest. We have our brother Charles, our brother Corey, our brother Bobby. We've been talking and chopping it up about these things, about the common denominator about coming home and being successful when coming home. And one of the things that I want to touch on before we jump right back into everything is like when you in any seminars, when you in any programs or whatever that you take or any courses, they always ask you, what's your takeaway? What's your takeaway? We kind of talked about some of the things as a takeaway. Number one, we talked about preparing yourself prior to re-entering society, and that's a mind frame in itself, that you have to prepare your mind before you even get back into society. Number two, that once you reach society, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, most people will go through the life without asking help, period, you know, but don't be afraid about asking for help. And number three is knowing that you yourself is your own commodity, that you can market your own self. It's people that want to hear your story, that want to know your experience, because it's other people that they want to help not go in the same direction, so you can use that as well. But also the last one, number four, is that we want you to take away is that whatever your hustle is, make sure that you change your product if it's something that's contrary to what be beneficial to your life. You know, so now we're going to pick back up with Corey real quick. He was saying something about him this 26th time going in and coming back out.
Yeah, so yeah, like I was saying, you know, in that space, like, you know, the conversation was given to me how blessed I am to be able to do that. And he said, well, God, you know, gave you the jail, so he said, I'll just let you in the front door, so you don't have to keep going in the back. You know what I'm saying? So you know, so I took that and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going the front door every day, and I go to work, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work in there though, so you know, it feels, like you said, it feels good to be able to transition from not only just incarceration, but that lifestyle and that state of mind, to be able to go back in there and uplift and educate and empower other people. You know what I'm saying? That because everybody don't want this. We get it, and I'm all right with that. You know what I'm saying? And the handful that I can help and the handful that I can assist, I'm blessed with that. You know what I'm saying? I just make sure that, you know, the program and the service that we do are available to the people that want it. You know, we always had these cliches. I went from serving time to serving people. You know what I'm saying? Again, service is a big thing to me. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed, and the overflow of the blessings have come in. I didn't come in looking for no money, nothing. I just came in and said, somebody said, hey, if you keep on giving this thing away, this is how you keep it. You know what I'm saying? And so I've learned how to just keep on giving and giving and giving, and I've just been blessed from there. You know what I'm saying? That's the blessing that comes from that. I learned how to just give.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Because I've been so self-centered and selfish half of my life. Me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm glad that broke for me.
Before we close down the show, we're gonna have a final thought from each of our guests, as well as their contact information and how you can follow them, how you can reach them if you want to connect with them, want to volunteer, want to help out. Then we're gonna have final words from our co-host.
Okay, I'll go first. I think that I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna close out with an email that I got today from federal prison, and this is just to give y'all some thought, man, to change what y'all doing, especially the youth that's in DC, that's out here that's committing these crimes. And I want y'all to really listen to this. I sent some pictures off, and this is the email I got. I got the pitch, champ. Thank you. I haven't had mail in months. LLS. It's like you the only one sending it. My grandma used to, but I've been hitting her and haven't caught up with her in a while, which has me worried. I love you and thanks again. I'm gonna close out with that just to let y'all know that, man, when you go behind that fence, a lot of people gonna forget about you. You'll come back home, and if they forgot about you, and they'll forget about you when you come home, right? And my contact information is, like I said, Helping Others with Life on Instagram, or howdmv.com, or you can reach me at 202-417-4751. I'm always open and available. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I hope that I get to see some of y'all.
All right. So I'm going to go read off like you did. I'm going to read off my little comment. I don't want to be long with it and try to take up everything. so look. And then she want to kind of bring in right now. I'm going to go ahead and close her out. So look, it say success only comes before work in the dictionary, right? And so I can remember being trapped in my environment that wouldn't allow me to dream. I had to set my mind free to a point that I dream so big that my dreams dream about me, right? And so what I say about that is that I had to start dreaming. But I also had to recognize that I had nightmares also. And one of my nightmares is, and I talked to the guys about this today, I want them to give me 2 of their dreams and 2 of their nightmares. And we have never asked people about their nightmares. We always happy to tell people about our dreams. But my nightmare is that I don't never want to start over again. I don't never want to start over again. Because that was like the rough spot in my life, man. So I'm going to close out with that. You can reach me at www.hopereentry.network.dc.org. You can go in there. You can hit our page. You can hit that. You can go into that volunteer section. If you want to volunteer, you can contact us through the whole page. So you can go right on there.
And I'm going to leave y'all with a quote that a brother told me back when I was in Cumberland back in 2005. He said, "Be like the fly." And we used to call it a motor scooter, because he wouldn't say MF, he'd say, "Man, that's a mean motor scooter." He say, "Be like the fly." So he say, "You know what, the fly, you hip to the fly?" I say, "Nah, what's up with the fly?" He say, "Every time the fly lands, the fly's always doing like this," which he was taking his fingers and, you know what I'm saying, rubbing together. He say, "You know what that mean?" He say, "He's sharpening his tool." So wherever you land, whether it's, God forbid it's prison, you come back home, stay sharpening your tool. You know what I'm saying? Stay working on yourself, because like these brothers have said, and I totally agree with him, that our net worth is our net worth. So our character is our biggest asset. You know what I'm saying? So if we constantly working on ourselves, then we better reach out to other people. You know what I'm saying? So constantly working on yourself, constantly sharpening your tool, constantly give back. Charity never diminishes the wealth. Period. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period. So you can reach me at Bobby Pettis on Facebook. You can reach me on IG at Bobby5211, and you can reach me on my phone at 618-975-0942. That's 618-975-0942. Thank y'all very much for having me and us on this panel.
Thank you for
being
being
here. Got
here.
that cryptocurrency, that gold, y'all.
Hit me up, you know what I'm saying?
Let me hold something.
Right.
Get me, Mo.
Oh, man.
Oh, mothers.
Trina Love.
Yes, I just want to say again, I'm so honored to have you 3 brothers on the show. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
This is Touchy Topic Tuesday, so we pretty much touch on anything that people don't usually touch on, and they may be kind of hesitant, but we will talk about it here. It's all respect, too. I just want to leave with 2 things. There will be actually, and this is more of a promotion side. If you all are into jazz, live music, things like that, there's a Jazz in the Park starting on Sunday. And I'm working with this gentleman by the name of Romello, and he's bringing it back. He does it every year to Temple Hills, Maryland. He's bringing it back every Sunday starting this Sunday. And it's called Summer Cool Concert, Cigars, and Sundresses. We will have a George Benson tribute band. They will be performing for the first time on stage. Timeless Vision Band. I work with both of them, and they are both phenomenal bands. And then we will have DJ Kick on the ones and twos, along with some other performances. So there will be vendors. If you're interested in a vendor opportunity, please reach out to me, Trina Love, loves.enterprise.events@gmail.com. Also, you can reach out to me on Facebook and send me a message. Reach me also at 703-894-7148. And last but not least, one more thing about the event. There will be slingshots, motorcycles, just a good time, a good Sunday time. You know, come out. Yeah, slingshots to motorcycles. Or not motorcycles, but you just...
I'm just messing somebody with y'all get that next time.
But yeah, no drama, grown folks, good time. Also, we will be telling you or broadcasting what our next topic will be next month in August. But however, we are currently, Curtis and Tony and myself are working on a live audience feed, and we'll be actually local. We're all in the D.C. area. But the station is here in Baltimore. We will be local September 24th. That is the last Tuesday of the month, of course. We will be coming with a venue that's to be determined. But the show is going to center around local artists or local people that are in entertainment in the DMV area. We already have some great people that are on board that will be our guests. Also, if you are interested in the opportunity, you're from the DC area, you're out there doing your thing in entertainment, and you're great at it or good at it and have a passion for it, we would love for you to be a part of that show. Just please stay tuned. Please reach out to us on Mix Station Radio, or also, mixstationradio.com, or Touchy Topic Tuesday with Mix Station Radio on Facebook. Again, this has been a great show. I'm so blessed to be in the presence of such.
Hold on, let me wake everybody up because you just
I know I've been talking.
Went to sleep a little bit just now.
I know I'm long-winded, but I had a lot to say. It took the whole show for me to say this.
No,
but
I'm just messing.
If you know what I mean.
You know we love Trina Love, y'all.
But I had to get those little nuggets out there, Tony.
Yes, I want to first thank the guests for coming out and for all the positive things that y'all are doing in the community. It just shows that men who have been down can always come out and help lift other people up. Curtis and I have a program called FRESH. It stands for Fully Restoring Every Son's Hope. Always got to have the word hope in everything you do, because without hope, you're just going to just go to the wayside. We come from Romans 12:2. Be not conformed to this world, but be renewed by the transforming of your minds. And that's the main thing that we got to deal with, like Corey was saying, and Charles and Bobby, that you got to change the way that these young people think, and that this new generation. So I was also thinking about the positive anagrams that everybody was saying about their programs. And I remember when I was going through my college years. Y'all like that?
Yeah. Some of y'all catch that. Some of y'all catch that next week too.
And I was going through.
Somebody catch that next week.
What university you graduate from? You got a master's degree, dude.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, you got a master's degree from
They
Jessup.
schooled me on that one too.
Master's degree from Jessup.
So when I was going through my college years, everybody called me Tony Wolf. And I used to always sit back and say, I got to change that Wolf name into something positive, because Wolf was always looked at something that was bad. And the thing I came up with was Wolf. working out life failures, and that's what I came up with.
That's
right?
awesome.
So I just want to leave y'all with that, and we go to Curtis.
All right. So really, as we close out this show, this has definitely been one of the most awesome shows that we have had. We had some real, true heavy hitters, but they not just heavy hitters by their words; they are heavy hitters by their actions, making an impact in our community and changing. In fact, they are in some of the hardest places in our community right now, as today, because DC has been changed a whole lot. But on that south side, it's really like still that old DC in some manners, in some ways. But it really takes men that have come out of darkness to show you what really light looks like, you know. So I just thank these men that came out today to show the hope that everyone needs to see and understand that God don't make no junk, man. I mean, I'm going to close with this little last saying right here, and then I'm going to get out your way and we're going to close this out. But about this man, he was walking past the junkyard, and as he walked past the junkyard, he looked in and he saw something that caught his attention. So he asked the owner of the junkyard, he says, "How much is that?" And the junkyard owner said, "Man, it ain't worth nothing." "What you mean, how much is that?" He said, "Well, if it ain't worth nothing, can I have it?" He said, "Yeah, sure. So go ahead, you can take it." So he took it home, he polished it up and put it on the shelf, and one of his friends came in and he saw it. And when he saw it, it just amazed him, because he was like, "Where did you get this? Where did you find this, man?" He said, "Man, I found it in the junkyard." He said, "Man, they didn't know what they had." He said, "Nah, man, what they thought was worthless, he didn't realize it was priceless." And that's how we all are, showing people their worth. All right, so we just close out with that. And y'all just remember that you can touch somebody, you can help somebody, leave your fingerprints in a positive way. Take care.
And remember, on Touchy Topic Tuesday, no subject is too taboo.
Hey, and it's not just for tacos.
That's right. Have a good night.
Have a good night.